Hello, my name is Danny Mui, and I am the second and bass clarinetist of the New York City Ballet Orchestra. We are starting a new series called Stage Door Chats. It's where musicians and dancers get to know each other. I am honored to have here today Teresa Reichlen and Julia DeRosa. Thank you both for being here, and let's get to some introductions.
Hi, I'm Julia DeRosa. I'm the principal oboist of the New York City Ballet Orchestra, and I'm thrilled to be here today talking with you, Danny, and with you, Tess.
I'm Tess Reichlen, or Teresa Reichlen in the programs. I'm a principal dancer. Really happy that we're starting this collaboration so we can get to know each other.
One of my very first questions, I think is really important, especially in both our arts, is that both of you are principals in both your roles. What are your initial thoughts and feelings about having that, being that?
The principals of the orchestra, I think, are the leaders in the sense that maybe they're doing the roles that are most have the most spotlight on them, but then they also have to lead in every other sense of the word. And for me, that's thinking about our future. I think it's really, really important for us to lead in the right way. So for me, one of the biggest things is knowing what's going on stage. So it's really important to me to do my research, to know even some of the choreography and prioritize the fact that what the sounds that are coming from the orchestra are what are then creating what people are seeing on stage.
That's a really good answer. I don't want to follow that. I mean, it's very, I guess, very similar. I mean, at least for me, it's like, this is what I always was striving for. Like first, I wanted to get in the company, got in the company, that was great. And it's kind of, you're always just like aiming higher and higher. And for me personally, it's like a dream come true. And with that, come the responsibilities. Like you're always dancing a lead role. Like I never have like an easy night. There's never a night, like you never go out there and it's not like the spotlight's not on you, which sometimes is a lot of pressure. There's sometimes I want to go out, I'm like, oh, I wish I could dance, but like no one would notice me, or but it's also a privilege, and it's like, this is what I've been working for. So I'm also one of the older dancers, so I try and set an example for the younger dancers, just in how to act and how to work, and just how we interact with all the other people who work in our theater. You guys, obviously, and the backstage staff and everything. And I guess the principals are a bit of the face of the company. But one thing I do love about New York City Ballet is that all of our dancers and our orchestra, everyone is so individually talented. That we are collectively, I think, a face of the company. So that is one thing. It's the being a principal is like special, but in our company, it's not about the stars as much, compared to other ballet companies, which is nice, I think. I mean, I always loved that about New York City Ballet. But it's still like a little bit of an elevated role, and I try to step up to that title.
With the amount of performances we do, how do you deal with that pressure?
I guess how I deal with it, I put a lot of emphasis on the prep and on the rehearsal, so that in the performance, I've hopefully been through every possible scenario, like every possible disaster I've already faced in the rehearsal studio. And hopefully I know how to handle it, recover from it, deal with the fatigue and the exhaustion, etc. So that like when I'm in the performance, I'm not having to think so much. It's also like a building of muscle memory for dancers, especially, so that you can go out there and not have to be thinking about how I'm executing each step, that it comes as second nature. And then you can kind of let yourself go emotionally into the story and into the music.
But how do you deal with like performances that maybe you think did not go well? And how do you overcome that?
We do work so hard at what we do, and it wouldn't even be possible to do it if we didn't. So I think so many of us are perfectionists, and we have to learn how to keep that in perspective and kind of zoom out, if you will.
And what is like a little piece of advice you could give to anybody starting out?
For me, it's doing whatever you do with 100% of yourself, and doing it with your heart on your sleeve in a way. That's really important to me, both as an artist and as a person. But artistically, I think the best art, whatever kind of art it is made when a person is just genuine and sincere and who they are. So I think that can actually take you really far, and that can be kind of an underlying way to mold your practice and way to mold your career that's very honest and sincere.
Mine is kind of similar in that I would say to try and be the best version of yourself. It's really hard in the ballet world not to compare yourself to like everyone who's around you. And I really, really struggled with that when I was younger. Like, oh, I got them with this person and they're doing this now and they're doing this now. And it's like everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own strengths. And you need to find like a work ethic that works for you. Like what everyone else does might not necessarily work for you. And and you need to figure out what your weaknesses are and work on those and focus on being the best version of yourself.
Everybody, people who come to the show, they never really get to see what it's like to stand right, on that stage and look out. What does it feel like?
It's very hard to describe. It's funny. I'm actually like by the time I get out there, I feel fine. It's the hours before the show that I'm nervous. It's like once you're out there, it's like, I don't know what, it goes away. I'm rarely like really, really nervous when I'm actually out on stage with the lights on. It's kind of like you let go and you like go into this zone and things kind of just like go away. It's like when you're standing in the wings, like right before you're running out, that you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So it's often like a very nice release. And like with the stage lights, you really can't see anything out there. And it's so different, because when we're rehearsing in a studio, like you're watching yourself the whole time. So you're kind of like critiquing yourself. Or even if you're not facing a mirror, there's a ballet master right at the front and you're looking at them and seeing them react to your dancing and everything. So it's kind of, it's like finally freedom. And it's your moment to like, you're there at the orchestra, you got your makeup, the lights, like you can't see anything. And it's just your moment to actually, show off all the hard work and like, what happens and like, that's it.
Often thought to myself like, oh, it doesn't matter what happens anywhere else in the world for me right now. I'm just here. No one can stop me from doing this. Like, this is my 45 minutes or whatever of just suspended reality.
So musicians and dancers have to be pretty rigorous about physically being like strong outside of the job. Like, what do you do for exercise that like it's say for the off season or now during COVID?
I do the same thing I would do now as I did in season, which is I run every day. I run 5 or 6 miles every day. And that's kind of my way to burn off steam and escape a little bit. I have a 2.5-year-old at home. And so it's rather chaotic at times, especially now.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a bit of an anomaly right now because I'm 7 months pregnant. So I'm not exercising. Like my body is like very different right now than normal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still am doing exercise, but like, obviously I'm not really doing ballet. I mean, because like, even before I was pregnant, for me personally, like dancing in my living room, just like, it doesn't really work. Like my neighbor below me hates me. Like it's very nice. They gave us a square of Marley, but it's like 3 feet by 3 feet. I'm really tall. Like it wasn't working for me, but like, that's what a lot of dancers are doing right now. Like they're dancing in their living rooms, like holding on to their kitchen counter. getting into a studio one at a time. I think a lot of people are doing much more cross training. I was really enjoying biking a lot when it was warmer out. It's a bit of a crapshoot because what we do is so specific, and like we really need a facility. Like you need a floor, you need space. So it's like I think we're all doing what we can, knowing that it's going to be a long journey back.
And it's
So let's say you had a rehearsal, let's say it's 4 o'clock and you have an hour and a half and you have to be back for the 7:30 show. Where would you go to eat?
I usually just go to Whole Foods because they have everything.
Oh,
Because I'm usually
Whole Foods
craving,
Columbus
like
Circle.
every day I'm craving something different before a show. So like sometimes I want a cookie and sometimes I want like chicken. So they have it all. Sometimes I want both. I don't know.
is in a way the opposite in that I always want the same thing. And this is totally weird. Danny, you'll already know my answer, I bet. But the harp player in our orchestra, Sarah Cutler, and I have like a thing about juice generation, which is near the theater. And they make these like smoothie bowls that are so good, in particular the peanut butter one.
I want to thank both of you for your time and for dealing with my very hard questions. And I hope that we can continue on with more interviews with from everybody else in the company.